thankful that the Lord woke me up and blessed me with yet another day to walk his good earth, planted my feet on the floor, and got me on over to our Black Talk radio station. This morning, I have the pleasure of being joined by Dr. Andrea Boyles.
Good morning.
I love, hey, earn that thing.
Hey, listen, it was a rough road, but mission accomplished. Mission accomplished.
Absolutely. And I appreciate my friends who get the honorary doctorates and then they get the multiple honorary doctorates and all, but it ain't the same thing.
Absolutely not. No, no, no. And you know what? I don't want to start off being a hater. It's not that, but it's certainly a difference. There's some differences between the two for sure.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's funny that you bring that up because there's been a lot of noise about that in the press lately.
Yes, right.
Folks unaccredited or questionably
Mm-hmm.
accredited, or illegitimately accredited institutions and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Awarding doctoral degrees, honorary doctoral degrees, and that kind of thing. So there's a whole thing that's been unfolding from one extreme to another about what it actually means and how people are able or not to decipher the legitimacy between them.
Yeah, I know that and getting to know that more and more. In recent years, I've been part of accreditation site teams.
Yeah, oh, that's fun.
So it's deep in the weeds, so to
Yes,
speak.
for sure.
And when you deal with accreditation bodies, they got pages and pages and pages of questions and standards and all of that. But to your point, when it gets to who's your faculty, your staff, your adjuncts, your lecturers, your assistant professors, associate professors, professors who has a bachelor's, master's, PhD earned,
Yeah,
it starts
yeah,
making a difference
yeah,
when you get to that point.
for sure.
Because you can have an entire faculty that has DR in front of their name, but not every single one of them has the earned PhD or education degree, a doctorate. There are others, and there's some that are terminal degrees, but it does make a difference. So I'm just giving you a prop, sister.
Oh, I appreciate it. I truly do. I appreciate it. But again, thank you so much, for acknowledging me. It's so wonderful to be back on air as always with my WBOK family and also with the broader community. I
Yeah.
really enjoy coming on and being able to exchange. And so I'm looking forward to today.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a good show, and we like to tell people what we saw and what we're seeing outside before they get ready to leave their doors. Because let's face it, we got up earlier than some people today.
Oh,
So,
for sure. In fact, I got up a little earlier than usual, even for my own self.
yeah, right.
In recent weeks, at least. Let me
Yeah,
say it that way.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, it is 78 degrees outside and partly cloudy, and looks like it's going to be partly cloudy, partly sunny throughout the morning. The temperatures will be rising, so we'll be getting into the mid 80s, and it's going to get more and more cloudy by mid morning, and then into the afternoon. We're going to have zero precipitation chance.
okay, good.
Hey, after the last few days,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So we're gonna hit 88, 89. Might hit about 90. So you might not need that rain brother and galoshes, but you with the way the week's looking, you might want to just go ahead and keep them in the car.
Just in case.
So,
Because I was wondering, even in the drive over this morning, looking, sometimes it's that overcast
yep,
and you can just never tell. And I thought, then I wonder if I should have brought my umbrella. I usually keep one in the car.
yep,
And this morning, that wasn't the case. So I thought today would be the day.
right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of umbrellas, I have a couple in the car. I have
A
the
couple. I need to be like you then. I need to keep a couple
here's
in my
the thing.
car too then.
Here's the thing. I got the good one, and I got the bad one. The bad one is,
Okay.
you open it and then you find it hard to close it up.
Uh-huh.
The metal's
Right.
bent and all, so I
Uh-huh.
don't know how long I'm gonna hold on to it.
Oh
So,
my goodness.
but at least I got something in there
Right.
to deal with. So later on this week, we'll be even today we're going to hit 90, 91, but we're going to be into the 90s for the balance of the week. Don't have much precipitation. There might be 30-ish% chance of rain on Saturday at this point, which basically means it's going to rain somewhere,
Sure.
but not everywhere.
Yeah.
And so you can plan accordingly for your weekend and look ahead to a bright, sunny Monday, and that would be good. We've had a lot of rain and a lot of rain issues. And one of the things that has developed, of course, everybody's talking about the human error on Saturday with the flooding,
Oh.
with the Sewage and Water Board,
Mhm.
and how they did the best they could, except somebody made a mistake
Mm.
and didn't press the right button, and we got all this rain, and we got all this flooding
Oh,
because
the flooding.
yeah, yep. So
Yeah.
with more rain and it was so much rain in a short period of time that's what really did us in, and it's New Orleans, so we're used to the rain, we're used to flooding, but it was just overwhelming. Try to go this way and then couldn't go through. Try to go that way and couldn't go through. Well, the Sewage and Water Board says that they're continuing to investigate, and they're going to get to the bottom of it and figure out what's happening before the next big major storm. Did you get caught in any of that on Saturday?
No, I think it was starting a little bit.
Hmm.
But I managed to make it in before the worst of it happened.
Well, I got caught in a little bit of it, and more of the tail end. So that's why I had to navigate my way around because there was so much water in some places and unexpected places.
And I was gonna say, as you were talking, I was thinking that it's really not just the flooding. I would imagine
Right.
people are more often than not frustrated about the culmination of things, right? A culmination of street closings, be that because there's, a hole someplace, that's shown up or that's been existing for a while now. Or, trees are being trimmed and cut down. There are trees, excuse me, streets
Yep.
that are blocked off from time to time because folks are, trimming trees and things like that. And so it's all sorts of reasons that often have us rerouting unexpectedly. But flooding certainly would be the icing on the cake, I would imagine, in some ways. So it's always, at least I seem to find that when I'm driving through the city, it's often that I'm rerouting
Yeah.
unexpectedly
Right.
and sometimes multiple times over just to get to one place.
Hmm.
So even my reroute
Hmm.
becomes a reroute.
Hmm. Absolutely.
And so,
And one of the things about that, so even if you're using Google Maps or Waze, they don't know about the flooding.
well, the street. Well, sometimes it'll signal you about traffic.
Traffic.
It'll
Yes.
signal you about
Yes.
traffic.
Right.
Yes. And every now and then, I think I might see something about closing, but not often.
Right.
But you're right.
hard
The
to catch up.
flooding,
It's hard to- yeah.
because that's immediate, and so there's that lag time, I suppose. But anyway,
Well, it looks like we might not have to deal with as much of that in the future. Uh, can you imagine not dealing with even some of that? Except here's the thing, they want us to pay for
Well, sure.
it. They want us to pay for it.
Absolutely.
So,
It's
with all this noise, concern, frustration, they're talking about parcel fees that could be charged to nonprofit organizations who don't currently pay taxes for this kind of thing, and tax exempt properties paying something to help pay for some of this, and looking at raising at about $50 million each year for capital projects to improve the drainage around here. So that might hit us one way or another. And we don't know any specifics because they don't want to scare anybody. But so let me just give an example, just from my wild imagination.
well, for what it's worth, people are probably already scared
Yes,
just at the idea that there could be a change
right.
because as you're talking about the local level, we already have to think about the fact that there are these economic issues at the national level,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And so we can think about gas, we can think about, the cost of food and
Hmm.
all sorts of things that people, are spending out at higher costs per day,
Hmm.
all day in
Hmm.
some cases. So then, yeah, you add in the local stuff. So yeah, people are on eggshells, no pun intended,
Hmm.
thinking about where they're going to have to pay extra or more, and will the extra or more that they pay suffice for the service? Like, what will the quality of service be?
Hmm.
And oftentimes it is not matching or adding up, and so people therefore then are frustrated with local and national government.
Yeah. Yep. Well, since they're looking at nonprofit organizations, a lot of us go to church.
For sure.
Okay. And so there's different taxation involving churches as nonprofits. Almost all of them are nonprofits. So maybe the pastor might be saying that capital project that we have on the books that I want you to just chip in a little bit more for. Maybe you're going to be chipping in a little bit more for the taxes that the church has to pay. Um, could happen. Could
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, I guess anything is possible, but I would hope that, I don't know that I would want to see increases in places of worship, at least to the degree or along the same line as we
Right.
might see with government.
Hmm.
I would hope that would not be the reason.
All right. So,
Um, but
so, so, what
but
kind of nonprofit should pay or pay more for things like this, since they use our drains and water, sewage, just like we do at home, except we got small churches, bigger churches, medium-sized churches, huge churches. Should they pay?
you know what? That's a loaded question, and I feel like you have opened a door that could get me in trouble in more ways than one. So here's what I will say. First off, this is a perfect time to say this. I am serving in my personal capacity.
Yes.
And so while I will certainly be answering that question and others, you know, um, using and relying on my areas of expertise,
Which
I am,
include.
which include a range of things. I'm a sociologist and criminologist. I think many of our listeners know that. And so I'll be speaking from those areas, certainly. Gender is an area of expertise, race. I do race work. I do a lot of work involving class, economically
Hmm.
disadvantaged and challenged communities.
Hmm.
So I have a range of things
Yes.
that, and the through line, I guess to sum this up, the through line tends to be black resistance,
Hmm.
black resistance,
Hmm.
and social justice, wholly. But, I guess the point again is that, so in all that I will say, it is in my personal capacity and certainly not affiliated or associated with any of the organizations and institutions to which I am attached.
Yes.
And so, having said that, I don't want to say per se go down the road per se for nonprofits, but I will say, generally speaking, as a researcher and as a person that spends a lot of time looking at and arguing about disorder, community disorder, be that physical or social. And so when we start thinking about physical disorder, yes, that includes the streets, right? And the issues there, or the infrastructure largely. We can have a conversation about derelict buildings. We can have a conversation about disinvestment and divestments, that often occur and leave communities reeling economically and otherwise, or having compromised tax bases and things like that. We can have a conversation about, I can kind of run a gamut is the point.
Yeah.
When we talk about physical disorder. And what I often argue in my research and have found is that disorder starts from the top down. And oftentimes the narrative's projected as if it begins from the community level, like the people, right? Like disorder, physical disorder and social disorder begins with the people, and then somehow emerges from that upward. No, it starts from the top down. It's typically when our government, the ways in which our institutions are structured or not, be that around in tandem of local, national, the local and national governments, that oftentimes, yes, we find ourselves compromised or trying to figure out where our money is going, and if it's fair, who pays what, right? We can have a conversation about the top 1%, and what that looks like and what that means comparable to people ranked middle class or folks who find themselves ranked in lower class, and what they're having to pay and what that looks like across, cities, across states and so forth. So all of these things matter is the point that I'm making. But oftentimes I'm thinking about them at least in terms of the places and people that are most empowered. And what I seem to understand and find, as well as I'm sure many of our listeners, is that it is oftentimes the people who are more economically privileged and positioned that oftentimes are able to escape or find loopholes, right? To not have to really foot the bill,
Right.
so to speak, on a lot of things. And so then that leaves the bulk of whatever needs to be done being carried by the least of us. And it is in that space that I think that it is worth a conversation.
Well, it's certainly a good one and ongoing. And, I dive into the part of you that is sociologist because that's all about the people.
Yes,
But the people often work within structures,
they do,
like, family structures, friend structures, church structures,
for sure.
job structures, government structures. And you mentioned government, and we, the people, at least in this country, are the government, but there's structures to it. And so many of us don't participate. And so we get some policies and philosophies are developed that we're impacted by, but
Yes.
we haven't participated to say, this is how I feel about it. But we got to take a break.
All right.
So we're going to take a
We'll
break.
pick up when we come back.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So we are enjoying this time at the
Yes,
Good
for
Morning
sure.
Show. And we are happy to hear from any of you. So we have a talk line. It is available and open. So,
Yes.
Dr. Boyles,
Call
what's that
us.
talk line number?
504-582-9422. Please call in.
All right. This is WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. All day,
Day
long.
long.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Elizabeth Kubel, and here are your news headlines for you. We now know the name of the man arrested in a mid-city murder. 36-year-old Victor Fernandez is charged in the death of Jessica Gelpi. Police said that they found Fernandez driving her car, which had been reported stolen following the crime. Gelpi was killed last Friday on Bank Street. She was a longtime employee of the Steak Knife restaurant in Lakeview. The coroner's report showed that she died from a gunshot wound, but initial police reports said that she died from blunt force trauma. Judges John Fuller, Simone Levine, and Rhonda Good Douglas had their judgeships eliminated by a controversial law, but a Baton Rouge judge on Tuesday temporarily blocked that law from taking effect. Now the 3 judges are entitled to temporary relief. This case will likely be decided by the state Supreme Court, and qualifying for the November election starts on August 5th. The family of Mississippi teen Nolan Wells is set to meet with the district attorney today as scrutiny grows surrounding his death. Wells's body was found after he went missing during a trip to Horn Island with friends on July 4th. High-profile attorney Ben Crump is representing the Wells family. And that is a look for you at your Wednesday morning headlines. I'm Elizabeth Kubel for WBOK. Have a great day.
That's right. It's party time each and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on WBOK. It's the Throwback Throwdown with DJ Wick as he brings you the best in old school from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2Ks. Plus, the party goes to another level at 9 p.m. with the Throwback Throwdown Party Mix to round out the night. It's the Throwback Throwdown Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
This is The Law and Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
If you had $1 million, would you leave it to an 18-year-old?
Hopefully not, but that's exactly what can happen with a simple will. The money goes straight to your kids when they hit the legal age, no guardrails.
A trust lets you control when and how they receive their inheritance. You can set ages, milestones, or even make sure they finish school first.
Give them security, not a spending spree.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Greetings, New Orleans. It's Jamar McNeely, CEO of Inspire NOLA. Join us for our annual Inspire the City Backpack Giveaway on Saturday, July 25th, beginning at 10 a.m. at McDonough 35 Senior High School. Students will receive a free backpack filled with school supplies while supplies last. We also have limited laptops, gas cards, and more. Be there Saturday, July 25th, 10 a.m. at McDonough 35 Senior High School. Let's inspire the city.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh, no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Did you hear the news? Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom has a new time. Catch us now every Wednesday at noon. Same program, same great conversations. Just a new time. So catch Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom this Wednesday and every Wednesday only on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
The heat returns and the rain chances are going down. We're looking at highs 90 to 92 degrees today, feeling like the triple digits. We will have a chance for scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Not everyone will see them. As we're heading into the rest of the week, on into the weekend, highs reach the mid-90s, feeling very close to heat advisory status. Those daily chances for rain will continue, especially in the afternoons. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I
Morning.
am Will Sutton. I'm here with Dr. Boyle.
Good morning.
And we are happy to be with our WBOK family of listeners this morning. Of course, there are those of you who are listeners, and then there are those of you who are watchers. And we have the listeners and watchers because, yes, we are on radio, and you can catch us on WBOK 1230 AM's website. But you can also catch us on WBOK's YouTube channel and WBOK's Facebook page. And you can catch us on WBOK's IG, as they say, Instagram as well. It's 7:27 a.m. Got somewhere to be at 7:30. You got about 3 minutes, so I hope you're close. I hope you're close.
You just added pressure.
I mean, at least the roads are not as wet today as they have been. And, but take your time, please. Take your time.
Yes,
Make
for
sure you get there safely. Even if it means you have to do a little makeup at home, or you trim that beard one more time because you see something out of place. Do it at home. So you're not doing it in the car.
Yeah.
And get where you need to go safely, and just, just have a good story.
Absolutely.
You didn't notice that the toenails were too long. So,
Oh my gosh.
and you needed a trim.
Oh. Okay.
You didn't know
That
the
was-
dog. You didn't know the dog was pregnant. You got 6 puppies now.
Oh no.
I mean, something.
Okay. I guess.
But nobody has 4 and 5 grandmothers dying, so don't use that.
Oh yeah. Or I don't know.
Right.
But I tell you what, I'd like to do a few shout outs. In fact,
let's
I'm gonna do something different.
All right.
I want to shout out. I'm seeing folks are tuning in already. And so the first shout out I want to do is to Alicia Plummer. Good morning, Alicia. I am so thrilled. Let me tell you this real quick, and then I'll give it to everybody else because I see other folks have tuned in too. I had the pleasure of meeting Alicia, and I was thrilled in the community. We were able to talk. I asked her if I could give her a hug. It just did my heart some good to finally meet her, because for every time that I come in, you get used to people's names and
Yep.
hearing their voices
Absolutely.
and that kind of thing. But it's very rare that I actually run into someone in the community
Yep.
where I'm able to meet them in person.
Mhm.
It's at least separate of people that I know. And so in this case, I was able to meet and talk with Alicia for a little while, and it was just such a pleasure. And I'm so glad, Alicia, that I was able to talk with you and meet you. Just, pleasantries and all that good stuff. And so I'm trying something different, something new. Because Alicia, I hope she don't mind me sharing this. It was like, talking about how, they chime in, on social media or what have you. And more often than not, when I come in, I'm usually so focused on the issues and talking about the issues and trying to think things through that I'm not really reading the comments. And so I promised that I would start paying more attention to the comments, and because that's a part of engagement too.
Absolutely.
It makes sense, right? And so on that note, so I'm going to try to do better about that. I also want to shout out, I see Jacqueline on here. Charles, good morning. Good morning to you, Karen. Yeah, so I'm starting with Facebook. I'm not on YouTube. I'm not able to multitask in that way just yet, but at least I want to start there. So I'm so glad to see you all, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the show. And I'll be here tomorrow too, by the way.
All right. Okay.
Yes, so.
All right. So one of the things that has developed is we've got Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrow. Of course, we got so much drama between Baton Rouge-based statewide elected officials, including the governor and the attorney general, and the New Orleans mayor and DA and others based in our fair city. Well, the Louisiana Attorney General, Liz Murrow, has asked that the Orleans Parish Court subpoena the records of District Attorney Jason Williams and the special prosecutor handling her indictment. So she wants to dig into their records to do what? Well, I think that's probably about how this case developed, and perhaps were there any fingerprints from any city officials leading into this indictment. The reporting at this point does not indicate that anybody elected, appointed, or otherwise has had anything to do with it, that a juror decided that the grand jury should investigate. And when there is a grand jury investigation, it doesn't mean that you will have an indictment handed up. Sometimes you investigate and say, we don't think there's enough. But in this case, the grand jury decided there was enough based on the records, the letters that the Attorney General sent to the mayor, the district attorney, 5 council members, and retired Judge Calvin Johnson. So she also has filed a couple of motions to get a long list of these records so she can go through them and check them out and see what she's looking for and decide about giving them. So the Louisiana Supreme Court has intervened by staying the indictment in an emergency ruling. They don't always do that. And so with that stay, she wants subpoenas of these records, including internal communications between the special prosecutor, Lori White, former judge, the district attorney's office, criminal court judge Leon Roche, the mayor's office, and city officials, and, quote, any member of any media organization, close quote. In other words, if you've been in touch with media people about this, I want to know about it. So probably looking at text, phone calls, emails, all of that. So a lot of times when you are seeking records like this, you have a effort for a wide swath of information so you can get as much as you can and prepare for your case and your defense. So quite a development. This thing is going on and on. On and on. So it looks like there's a development every other day, and the AG is looking to defend herself. Some of the other names connected in her subpoena include former U.S. Representative, former White House advisor Cedric Richmond, and State Senator Gary Carter, because they oppose the Louisiana legislature's elimination of 7 New Orleans judge positions earlier this year. And perhaps they played a role. I guess that's what she's thinking, since she wants to see what correspondence there might have been in these records. So we know that happened. Liz Mero likes to talk, likes to post on social media, but she declined further comment on this case and referred questions to her attorney. The drama continues. So
there's a lot going on in the world, for sure.
Indeed. Well, I'd love to know what any of you all think about the latest move with Liz Mero seeking these subpoenas. Of course, we have other moves, including the John Fuller case, and we're going to be talking about that during the show as well. So, what do you all think about the AG seeking these records? I mean, should she be able to get them? Get all of them? Get everything? Is there anything that should be off the table? I wonder if the court is going to say you have to hand over every little piece of paper and digital correspondence. That would be fascinating, and especially what I'm looking for, I haven't found it yet, is there a time range? So is it something that she's seeking within their term of office, or is she seeking something in the certain period of days or months? And I'm sure that must be in there somewhere, but I have not found that yet, and I am curious about that. So we would love to hear from you if you have anything to weigh in on related to that. We'd love to get a call from you, 504-582-9422. So there was also a big announcement. The governor talked about the next industrial revolution with data center. Of course, we got data centers popping up all over the nation, and data centers popping up in different parts of Louisiana. And of course, we know about the Meta data center in Richland Parish, and it was estimated to cost $28 billion, billion with a B. That was previously announced. Well, now they have announced that it's going to be $50 billion and going to be much, much bigger. So big that it would be the biggest data center in Louisiana, the biggest data center in the South, and the biggest data center in the nation. So we're talking huge, 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 huge. So the conversation continues about, what's the benefits of the data centers and what are the downsides of the data centers, because we really want to know and need to have concerns about the benefits and the harms.
And that's just it. There's so many things that we have yet to learn about the data centers. We do know enough to understand that there are some environmental harms for sure. But now how far ranging that goes and to what degree those things can be addressed, there's still a lot of unanswered questions, right? And so there's a backlash to that. There's going to continue to be, not just in the state, but nationally, a national battle about these centers, because people by and large understand that they're a risk there. And you just talked about a minute ago, we were discussing increases in, taxes and things like that. Well, also we know that attached to this come increases in utilities, and those kinds of things. And so, and I think the other piece that people are disturbed about is their freedom, or the ability to be able to think about these things, and process or learn what all is entailed. That's not really being afforded to people in a particular way. It's kind of being shoved on people, forced down. The data centers are being forced down people's throats in many respects. And when I say that, meaning that what I have seen is that there's been like these little windows, right, where they get introduced into, the idea gets introduced or floated into a community. And then there's the, maybe a hearing or two or whatever the case might be, depending on what the uproar, is in the community. And then, but then shortly thereafter, there ends up being a decision made. And in many cases, despite the fact that the community members have said, no, we've thought about what little bit of information we do have. Maybe this is not something we want to move forward with or think that is viable for our community. It still ends up happening. The policymakers and decision makers end up making, it's still sort of leaning in that direction. And in one community I saw where they actually unseated their entire city council over that debate. This happened in Missouri. They had all single-handedly voted for the data center, despite the fact that the community had cried out in more ways than one and were adamant about not having it. And elections were up, had come due. And so they overwhelmingly voted them out. Literally.
Everyone.
And so they've become, they've set precedents. That community has set precedents and has been deferred to. Like, here's what can happen if people are not going to listen to the people, so to speak. You talked about these different positions and structures and so forth being made up of actors and the like. And for sure, but oftentimes they are privileged. Even though, they are actors in these spaces, they tend to be privileged. At least the decision makers are comparable to the community members. And so again, there's just a lot to still be learned, right? But, in this world of, AI and, this rapid progression of it and all these other, technological advancements, it seems to be an uphill battle, but certainly one that the communities, by and large, that I've seen, from one angle to the next, are willing to take on.
Yeah, and it's going to be fascinating as we watch the developments in Louisiana and around the nation. New York State just implemented a statewide ban on AI data centers, which is amazing. I mean, not just in parts of New York State, but a statewide ban. So one of the balances, I think, is like in Louisiana, Richland Parish is so poor, and there are benefits coming from the center that as it's being built. So it's not even built yet. But Meta is trying to garner favor, and so teachers in Richland Parish getting $50,000.
Well, that's the catch. That's the thing. It's
geez.
like, but that's what's being sort of leveraged, like you said. People, they're saying your city is going to gain said amount of dollars, right? Like these millions or billions or whatever the case might be. Then, then the policy makers in those cities say, okay, so then if we get all this money, now we have an opportunity to give this group a raise, or we can do this for the city, add this to the infrastructure. Maybe we can work on these things. So it's being floated, of course, with all these advantages attached to it, but it's not being based on the people's position. What is not being attended to are the disadvantages of it, the disadvantage ends of it. And so people are going to be distrusting because, one, historically, folks have been left in the dark, especially in communities that are poor and communities of color, which tends to be a correlation. They are often left in the dark when it comes to industries and, these different kinds of things emerging, and left in the dark to the degree of not understanding fully what the community has signed on to, what that means for them, their families, and not just today, right? Or not just for the week, but what that means 10 years from now. And the idea that there are already hazards that are noted. People don't necessarily understand, like, what's the longevity of that? And are there more that are yet to be discovered?
Right.
And the fact that there's a rush to do it, right, does not allow time for people to really process and think about, like, is this something that is really working for us? Those things taken together scare people. It's
Right.
just that simple. And so, yeah, the money becomes the competitive edge to this. Maybe we can pay above and beyond the fear.
Yeah, and there've been a number of developments across the nation where these big complexes, warehouses have been built. Lots of excitement, groundbreaking, and lots of jobs. And 10 years later, 15 years later, kaput. So you just have this emptiness of what was promised and was probably a good deal for a number of years, but it goes away. One of the examples from this development was one of the history teachers in the parish and football coach. He said, "What people don't understand is this affects our retirement. My retirement, because of the bonus, has just doubled." That's hard. That's hard to say. I don't want to double my retirement. If you, especially as you age up, and so he's looking at that. And the local community college, Louisiana Delta Community College, is going to get $5 million. Now there are lots of other places that get $100 million and $50 million, $35 million. They're happy to get $20 million. But this is a community college. They're not used to getting donations like this. And one lump, $5 million, the biggest amount they've ever received. There are things like that happening that makes it hard to say, we don't want your money.
Now, I will tell you this. Yeah, I don't know persons per se that are getting, personally or otherwise, that are getting double income and all those different things as a
Right.
result. But what I will tell you with my ear to the ground that I have heard people say, and what we do know is that more often than not, those are not the people that are going to be living next door to the data center.
Yeah. I hear
They're
ya.
not going to have those data centers. They're probably not going to be in their neighborhood,
Right.
which also means they're probably not going to be affected, environmentally, not at least directly affected. And so again, I understand, even as a person that's doing work with AI. And let me be clear, I'm doing work in terms of, yes, educating the community, because
Absolutely.
it's a lot that we don't know, that we don't know what we don't know, right? Which is the angle in which I am addressing AI. What is it that we don't know about it? And the little bit that we do know about it, how does it work against us? Because there's so many narratives and there's so many roots that champion it as if it wholly works for us. But like anything, there are downsides. And so I get into the weeds on the downside. What does this mean and what does this look like for my people? And when I say my people, meaning the community, the people who are, black and brown folks, black folks particularly, because we see AI being just what it is. It is artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
But the point that I'm making is that, again, there's a lot that is unknown still. And the people who are subject to be most impacted negatively are the people who tend to not be really represented in terms of the decision making about this.
So in essence, this guy could have his job in Richland Parish and be living in another parish.
Well, there will be a lot of people that will benefit, obviously.
Right.
But again, and that's about today.
Yeah.
But people are thinking, again, longevity and not even that. We could say in the immediate, because I talked about like increases and surges and
Right.
things like that,
Right.
affecting water, affecting electricity and all those things. But
Yep.
but there's a lot
Right.
to learn.
There
and
is.
shoving it and forcing it is probably going to warrant a whole lot of resistance.
Yep. Well, interesting development with New York State saying no, no, no. Gonna see how that works with elections.
For sure.
Statewide.
Yes,
Statewide.
for sure.
All right, it's 7:51. We are going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to have some more news and information for you and some good conversation. We welcome you to be a part of that conversation. In not too distant future, we'll be talking to Judge John Fuller's attorney. He's returning to the Good Morning Show to tell us about the latest development. And it's quite a development, so we'll be doing that. I'm Will Sutton with Dr. Andrea Boyles here at the Good Morning Show at 7:52 a.m. What is that talk line number?
It is 504-582-9422. Please call in, you all. I'm seeing your comments and so forth, but we would love to hear from you on issues that we've already discussed and others, too.
Absolutely. This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m. what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Auto Trends with JeffCars.com. Here's a snippet of some of what we cover. GPS, Pioneer, Gladys West.
We worked long hours computing trajectory orbits and satellite orbits, trying to get the data and everything correct enough.
Auto Analyst, Mark Bland.
14 new vehicle deals that happen in this country out of every 100 that women don't have a fingerprint on.
To tune in, check out Auto Trends with JeffCars.com. Saturdays at 4 p.m. on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
Greetings and salutations. I am Edward B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. See you on Saturday.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton. I'm here with Dr. Boyles. And we were just having good conversation about AI and the data centers and all. And it is 7:55 if you need to be somewhere at 8 a.m. Yeah, I hope you're about 5 minutes away. No, you probably should be about 2 or 3 minutes away.
Right.
So
right.
you can get there and have a little time to get out of the car, grab your backpack or your satchel, grab your coffee or tea. Make sure you don't have to run back to the car. Certainly don't forget your keys. And make sure you get on in there in time, if not early, so you can close the loop on that part of the day.
I see others chiming in too.
Yeah,
Good morning. Good morning, Aramel. And you all, you know what, let me apologize in advance. If I mess your name up, please forgive me. Charge it to my mind and not my heart.
Hey.
I see Hiram. I think that's how you pronounce your name. I think I spoke to Jacqueline this morning. If not, good morning. Paul, good morning to you. Lionel or Lionel, is that Lionel? I'm sorry. Good morning. Yeah, so a lot of talk. I hear you all, or see you all rather, read your opinions
All
and
right,
thoughts
so
about the data center.
yeah, so you might not want to call, but what you saying on the chat about the data center? Y'all like the idea of the
No,
New York State?
no,
No,
not
of
at
the New
all.
York State
Oh,
ban.
well, yeah, the
The
New
total.
York, yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, folks need to follow New York's lead. So
Well,
I don't think I
of course,
see any positives
yeah.
of folks wanting data centers,
Yeah, well, the pushback on that is
which is the trend.
is
People don't want it.
yeah, lots of people don't want it. Not in my backyard, not in my community, not even in the next community over. But people are pushing back. The people who want it are saying you're closing out economic development in our counties. In the case of New York, in our state, we're going to be left behind. And that's one of the things that the governor is touting, says we're going to be the leader in the United States, the leader on data centers. So this is an important part of our economic development.
Well, as we usher in these increases and surges of technological advancement, that's the consequence.
Mm-hmm.
The data centers become the consequence for that, right? And oftentimes, I don't think we connect the two. We like to be able to do all these different things in some respects, I guess, use all these variations of AI and, all these different things. But as it's become so incredibly immersed in our lives, then so too do we now have to deal with these decisions, these increases in needs supposedly for these data centers. And the issue again is about how the lack of information and how the problems get resolved. In other words, if the data centers are the consequence of increasing and progressing technology, then how are they successfully is the word I want to use, successfully able to account for the hazards? Those are the questions. People understand that there are harms. And since there are harms, and the suggestion is that these are necessary as a result of technological advancements, how then are the harms being accounted for? How are they being addressed, and how far-reaching are they? So again, the point is that it brings us full circle every time to there not being enough information. And what pieces and portions of information we do have that have negative consequences for across communities, it's about not then therefore having enough tangible, credible, or even believable routes to solve them. And so there's that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the governor made a point this week to, bash New Orleans again, which is something he's been on a tear about. And he made a point that these data centers, he didn't say it this way, but basically he said what's going to be happening is New Orleans will be displaced as the economic driver in the state of Louisiana. And that would have some consequences. So we better start thinking about that as well. Look, we're going to go to the talk line, and then we're going to have to take a break. Good morning, Reverend Calhoun. You're on with Will Sutton and Dr. Boyles. How are you, sir?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Got a quick observations. The governor seems to think anytime the grand jury here has no integrity when he does not agree with it. But I also would like to know how many times there's been an investigation of the grand jury from the person that was indicted by the grand jury. I don't understand. And when we get to this data, is there any data that says the environmental impact that's going to be upon that community, since all the environmental protections have been taken down? And my other thought is, where are we supposed to be going with Donald Trump and his attack on the data? Well, I don't want to say his attack, his support of the data centers, because it seems like who's going to really make the money of the data centers is Elon Musk and his crew. So is this a conspiracy to make sure that they put them in places that, because there's no real protections for people to say that jobs are going to be here and we're going to get these jobs. I don't see that either. I see those people coming from other parts of the country to address those jobs, and just like here, they won't stay in that area. And how much money did Morris make on his involvement with the data center up in Richland? Those are some of the questions I got, Will, and I know you have the capacity to find those answers out.
Well, we don't have the specific data on Mr. Senator Morris's profit from the land sales. That
my understanding is in the millions.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. But you raise good points about who's behind this
Is there
and who's
any
going to make the
integrity
money.
involved in it?
Well,
Okay,
I think some folks look at integrity in different ways, especially some levels of business people. And the thing about that, you mentioned Elon Musk. That's just one of the people with companies developing in Louisiana. There are others. I don't think Elon Musk has control of Meta yet, but Meta is popping up in a lot of places, and Anthropic is really out there. But I'm hearing reports just in the last few days that some people are moving away from Anthropic and going in the direction of open source AI from China, which is going to have an impact on how these data centers develop. So look, Reverend Calhoun, appreciate your call. We're going to have to take a break, and let's get into the criminal court judge John Fuller case with his attorney right after the break. This is WBOK 1230 AM with New Orleans is talking about all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A new report claims district attorneys in Austin, Dallas, and San Antonio, Texas are declining to enforce some state laws. Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
There's no reason why a district attorney should be in a different category than every other elected official in the state of Texas.
He says the findings support new proposals that could allow impeachment proceedings against elected prosecutors. Senator Raphael Warnock and Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens are celebrating a new federal housing law aimed at helping renters become homeowners. The bipartisan measure boosts housing construction and limits corporate ownership of single-family homes to improve affordability. And Louis Charles Malone, one of the first Black U.S. Marines and a World War II veteran, has died at age 103. The Alabama native spent decades as an educator, coach, principal, and community leader, leaving a lasting legacy of service. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton with Dr. Boyle. Good conversation.
Good
about,
morning, everyone.
AI and data centers. It's a conversation for every day.
Yes.
Because there's so much happening every day. And if you watch the markets, it's amazing how much impact the data centers are having on the markets, which, some of you all might not think it's having an impact on you, but I tell you what, call your financial advisor and ask, where am I invested? And you'll see that it very likely is having an impact on you with those 401ks out there and those Roths and all of that kind of thing. Look, it's 8:07 a.m. You got somewhere to be at 8:10 or 8:15. You don't have much time. So make sure you have your stuff together and get on out of there. Be safe, whatever you do. Drive safely. Pay attention to the speed zone. I'm not even going to say drive less than, but can you keep it to 2 or 3 miles per hour over as opposed to 15? Slow down a bit. Make sure you get to where you're going. Look, as promised, we're jumping in a conversation with attorney Jerome Matthews. He's been here before. And we've got a development in the Orleans Parish Judge John Fuller case. And Mr. Matthews is here to tell us about it. Of course, we've had all kinds of drama over the last several weeks involving our judicial system and more. But what's happened now? Welcome back to the Good Morning Show.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank y'all for having me back. I appreciate it.
So, big development, huh?
Yes. Yesterday we got a preliminary injunction issued by a judge in Baton Rouge. So that means as of right now, the 3 judges can qualify the first week in August for their seats.
Woo!
Right.
Wait a minute. So the legislature said no more. The governor signed the measures to say no more. It became law. And, of course, Judge Fuller said basically you couldn't do it this way because you didn't handle the votes accurately. Is that right?
Correct. We're saying they did not pass the law with the required number of votes. They needed a 2/3 majority, and they did not get the 2/3 majority.
Come on, Mr. Matthews. There's some smart people in Baton Rouge, right? In the legislature. How could they not count the right votes?
They believe that New Orleans has a special carve-out in the Constitution where they should be treated differently than the other 63 parishes, and that they only needed a simple majority.
Wait. So they're saying New Orleans has to be treated differently based on this carve-out. So therefore, the votes we had are enough.
Correct.
On the other hand, they're saying New Orleans shouldn't be treated differently, and New Orleans should be treated like the rest of the 63 parishes.
I do believe the governor said that yesterday. Is that accurate? I think that's what he said.
So we want to use this one, which is in our favor, against New Orleans, and we don't want to use these other things because we want New Orleans to be like everybody else, which includes having the quote-unquote right number of judges, which has been a part of this whole situation, that we need to right-size the judiciary in Orleans Parish. So they're arguing that New Orleans is to be treated differently, so we have enough votes.
Correct. That's what they're saying, and we believe, and I'm sure that the judge is going to agree. Just to be clear, this is a preliminary ruling. He hasn't made an actual ruling on whether it's constitutional or not. It's more just he's saying, hey, I think there's enough here that we should maintain the status quo until we have time to get to a final ruling. So that's where we're at.
So what's the timing on a final ruling? I mean, could that final ruling come in the next days or weeks, or is it possible that the final ruling would come this fall? And if that's the case, then incumbent judges could qualify the first week of August run for their seats, take their seats, and get the final ruling, then say, well, you can't have those seats?
That is correct. That is a possibility. But the only way we can get a final ruling before qualifying would be if the Supreme Court stepped in. The Supreme Court stepped in and took this case. We can get a final ruling before qualifying. That would be the only way.
The state is likely to appeal?
Yes, but right now they can only appeal the preliminary injunction ruling because there's been no filing ruling on the merits. So the only way that we would get a final ruling, the Supreme Court said we're just going to take this case and make this a final ruling before qualifying.
Can the Supreme Court just take this case now, or do they need to wait for the state to file an appeal?
The Supreme Court could take this case now. And they did that in Calvin Duncan's case. And the Supreme Court did it the weekend of July 4th with the Attorney General Liz Murrell, so they could take the case whenever they want.
Do you or Liz Murrell or her attorney, or does somebody have to request that the Louisiana Supreme Court take it, or can they just look and see, this seems to be a mess, we need to take care of this and just do it themselves?
So with the Liz Murrell indictment, she filed a motion and they took it. But with Calvin Duncan, they just called the court and said, hey, we're taking this case. Don't make a ruling, we're just going to take it. So I plan to try to find a way to ask them to take it if I can, but if not, we're hoping they see what's going on and just make a decision to take this case.
So you want this to go to the Louisiana Supreme Court because you think you have a good chance of this going in Fuller's direction?
I think the reading of the Constitution supports our argument. And kind of like you're saying, if it's not, we would like the ruling before qualifying. So all the judges can make the decisions on what they want to do. Because you're right. Right now, what could happen is the judges qualify, and then come to find out September, October, maybe the Supreme Court disagrees with my reading. And then it's too late for them to qualify for a different seat or make different decisions. So it would be better for everybody if we had a final ruling before qualifying. But there's nothing that the judge in Baton Rouge can do about that. There's nothing that the appellate courts could do about that. The only court that could do something about that and give us a ruling before qualifying would be the state Supreme
Court. Oh my. This is quite an onion to peel here. Meanwhile, you have judges taking care of their duties, considering campaigning, or I guess campaigning you kind of have to before qualifying so people know I'm in. And if you want to challenge, you can, but I'm in, and here are my supporters and all. Because some people might want to commit to one judge or another, or two judges, and they need to know, are you running?
Right. That is correct.
Are you running?
Right. And are you running, and which seat are you running for? And who are you running against if you're running against someone? It's all questions we would like answered. I'm trying to move this process as fast as we possibly can. Last when we came in, we thought we weren't going to get in the court till the end of July or the beginning of August, but we were able to find something to get us at least a preliminary ruling sooner to try to get this process started.
So am I correct that there are, with this one case, even though this is, you filed this on behalf of Judge Fuller, that this affects all of the judges?
So it affects all of the judges indirectly. Directly, it affects sections A, E, and J, because those three judges will be allowed to qualify for their seats. It affects all the judges because, of course, those three judges were deciding if they were going to run against another judge or not. And, of course, if they can qualify for their own seats, they won't have to run against one of the other judges.
Wow. Okay. All right. If you've got a question or a comment, the talk line is open. That phone number is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. I'm Will Sutton, here with Dr. Boros, and we're in conversation with Jerome Matthews, the attorney for criminal court judge John Fuller. Good morning. Good morning, Your Honor, Will Sutton, Dr. Boros, and Jerome Matthews. How are you? Hello? Okay. Well, give us a few minutes, and hopefully we can get you back on to hear from you. I guess we have a disconnect at the moment. So we'll try to get you on. Just give us a minute, and we'll see what we can do right away to get you on the air. We're trying to figure that out. Okay, we got it now. We got it. Okay.
So we'll try to get you on.
If you don't mind, turn down your radio because we're getting feedback.
I did.
Okay. All right. Good morning.
Good morning to all. Good morning. Hey, Dr. Balls. How are you? It was a pleasure meeting you. I want to say congratulations to the young man. And I also want to say congratulations. And I am so excited about a judge like John Fuller, someone who could stand up and face whatever comes at them. And I applaud what he did. And I pray that you all are successful all the way to the Supreme Court if they take it to the Supreme Court. But I have been talking to different legislators, legalese, and even some of the former legislators, senators and stuff like that. And they all had said the same thing, that you guys should be successful in this. And I pray that that is the truth. And I hope that it gets through where they can qualify and run for these seats. And I give you so much credit. And you go, Judge Fuller. You continue to do what you do. To me, he's a quiet giant. And I joke with him about a particular case that I'm not going to say, but I think he's a change on the bench, and that's a change that we've been looking for a long time. So congratulations to you, and I wish you all well and much success.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Alicia. Appreciate your call. Lord's blessings. Have a fabulous day. All right. Okay. So what's the next step? Is there likely to be anything happening today, tomorrow, this week?
The next step is the state has said they're going to file an appeal. They've actually filed the appellate documents. They are saying that they want the ruling suspended while the appeal is in place.
Oh, so they don't want this to go forward. They want to have the suspension of what's already happened.
Correct. They want the injunction suspended, and I will be filing something in the next couple of hours here opposing that, and I think there's a good argument that we're going to keep the injunction in place, because the main thing about this is the injunction is designed to preserve the status quo, because what happens is if the state is correct, or if the state gets what they want, the ruling suspended, that means come August, because if the Supreme Court doesn't step in, we won't have a final ruling. So come that first week in August, these judges will not be allowed to qualify. And if we don't get that ruling until the end of August or September, when we get the final ruling, it's too late. They did not qualify for their seats. They can't go back and qualify, can't go back in time. What we're asking for is to let the injunction stay in place, let these judges qualify, because if we come to find out in, like I said, end of August, beginning of September, that they can't, or that I'm wrong, then they just take them off the ballot. The state loses nothing.
Right.
But if we're right and they don't qualify, at that point, it's not reversible. and they can't go back and qualify. So that's why it's important that this injunction stays in place and we maintain the status quo until we get that final ruling.
So we're going to take a break, and James, we see you. Hang in there. We will get to you after the break. You'll be able to stay with us a few more minutes, I hope.
Sure.
And we will dive into this some more. I have a comparison I want to throw out at you based on Fuller's campaign, and we'll see what your thoughts are about that. It is 8:22 a.m. You got somewhere to be at 8:25. You got 3 minutes. 8:30, you're in a little bit better shape. So whatever you do, make sure you got all your stuff together. Watch out for our babies and our kiddos. They might not be going to school today, but they're going to summer camp in the Nord facilities, and they might be playing in your driveway or on your street. So watch out for them, because we want them to have a good long life and to return to school shortly. Dr. Boyles, what's that talk line number?
Please do call in, you all. We're interested in your thoughts and your questions. So you can reach us at 504-582-9422. That's 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Elizabeth Kubel, and here are your news headlines for you. We now know the name of the man arrested in a mid-city murder. 36-year-old Victor Fernandez is charged in the death of Jessica Gelpi. Police said that they found Fernandez driving her car, which had been reported stolen following the crime. Gelpi was killed last Friday on Bank Street. She was a longtime employee of the Steak Knife restaurant in Lakeview. The coroner's report showed that she died from a gunshot wound, but initial police reports said that she died from blunt force trauma. Judges John Fuller, Simone Levine, and Rhonda Good Douglas had their judgeships eliminated by a controversial law, but a Baton Rouge judge on Tuesday temporarily blocked that law from taking effect. Now the 3 judges are entitled to temporary relief. This case will likely be decided by the state Supreme Court, and qualifying for the November election starts on August 5th. The family of Mississippi teen Nolan Wells is set to meet with the district attorney today as scrutiny grows surrounding his death. Wells's body was found after he went missing during a trip to Horn Island with friends on July 4th. High-profile attorney Ben Crump is representing the Wells family. And that is a look for you at your Wednesday morning headlines. I'm Elizabeth Kubel for WBOK. Have a great day.
Hey, this is D. Riley from the 90s Hits R&B Jams. Make sure you listen to WBOK 1230 a.m. every Saturday night from 7 until 9 p.m. I'll be giving you the best R&B jams from the 90s. That's right, all your favorites and more. With me, D. Riley, your host of the 90s Hits, right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. Or listen online at WBOK1230.com. WBOK, the station you listen to longer.
Throughout July, Louisiana residents get half off general admission to the National World War II Museum. Take advantage of 50% off and beat the summer heat at New Orleans' #1 attraction. Don't wait. Plan your visit at nationalww2museum.org.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
If you had $1 million, would you leave it to an 18-year-old?
Hopefully not, but that's exactly what can happen with a simple will. The money goes straight to your kids when they hit the legal age, no guardrails.
A trust lets you control when and how they receive their inheritance. You can set ages, milestones, or even make sure they finish school first.
Give them security, not a spending spree.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Greetings, New Orleans. It's Jamar McNeely, CEO of Inspire NOLA. Join us for our annual Inspire the City Backpack Giveaway on Saturday, July 25th, beginning at 10 a.m. at McDonough 35 Senior High School. Students will receive a free backpack filled with school supplies while supplies last. We also have limited laptops, gas cards, and more. Be there Saturday, July 25th, 10 a.m. at McDonough 35 Senior High School. Let's inspire the city.
This is
is Andronika Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
LifeCare provides valuable whole life insurance to cover final expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debt. A final expense insurance policy is fast, easy, affordable life insurance that's available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exams, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. The application process is quick and easy. You can even apply without having to undergo a medical examination. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral cost skyrocketing to $11,000 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple, affordable peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses that, if left unattended, will burden your family tremendously. Benefits include a guaranteed premium that will never increase, a guaranteed cash value, and a guaranteed death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense insurance with a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, call LifeCare at 800-571-9955. That's 800-571-9955. 800-571-9955.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
The heat returns and the rain chances are going down. We're looking at highs 90 to 92 degrees today, feeling like the triple digits. We will have a chance for scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Not everyone will see them. As we're heading into the rest of the week, on into the weekend, highs reach the mid-90s, feeling very close to heat advisory status. Those daily chances for rain will continue, especially in the afternoons. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton here with Dr. Boris, and we're in conversation with Attorney Jerome Matthews. He's representing criminal court judge John Fuller in a case to retain his seat and to retain the seats of other judges who were legislated out of their positions by the state legislature and the governor. We have a call, so let's go to the talk line. Good morning, James. You're on with Will Sutton, Dr. Boyles, and Jerome Matthews.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This kangaroo government, what is the overall arching theme of this power reach with the courts? Is it to keep currently incarcerated people incarcerated and hanging in limbo with this political mumbo jumbo he's trying to pull? And does he want a specific type of individual over the courts down here so that Baton Rouge can have a say to who and where incarcerated individuals end up?
I mean, if you're asking like specifically why the governor and the legislature are doing what they're doing, I can't answer that, of course. But I can tell you that bill does more than just remove 3 judges in the Orleans Criminal Court. It removes some juvenile court judges. It removes some municipal court judges. But it also does one thing that may go specifically to what you're saying. There are 4 commissioners in Orleans Parish, and those commissioners set the bonds for people that get arrested. And those are the people, it's the 72-hour hearing that you have to have when you get arrested, you get your bond set. Before, the criminal court judges were allowed to select their own commissioners, but now in that bill, instead of the criminal court judges being able to select their own commissioner, now they have to get a list from the governor's office first, and they can only pick people off of that list.
So in other words, people who are indigent and possibly not able to bind themselves out financially will be subject to stringent overreach in binding by the governor?
I'm not saying that. There's been no list yet. They haven't. The governor has not. There's been no openings for commissioner yet. But for right now, I can tell you that whenever there is an opening, the criminal court judges won't be able to just pick who they want anymore. They will have to ask the governor for a list, and then the governor will send them a list of, I forget how many names, and the criminal court judges will be required to pick someone from that list. Now, like I said, who he may or may not send, that's for us to see at the time that happens. But that is a significant change that goes directly to the question that you asked.
So
one last
Go ahead,
thing,
James.
just everybody, there's you can mail in your petition to recall this clown, this kangaroo governor, and his kangaroo appointees. You can recall Liz Murrow now on online and with mail-in. So please exercise every action you can to find out that information. I don't have it. I just been made aware of it. I went out and signed anyway. So I suggest you all do as well, or your loved ones going to be locked up forever. Good night.
Yeah. Thank you. Lord's blessings, James. Have a fabulous day. That is the recall effort. That's Louisiana Deserves Better. So you can go to that website and see what James was talking about, and you can look for the specific locations. They post them every day to say where they will be. They have organized official folks who are associated with the campaign to get enough signatures for these recalls, one for the Baton Rouge mayor, one for the attorney general, and one for the governor. So LouisianaDeservesBetter.com is where you can go and get that information. All right, we got another call. Good morning, Ryan. You're on with Will Sutton, Dr. Boyles, and attorney Jerome Matthews, representing Judge John Fuller. How are you, sir?
Cool. I'm good. How y'all doing?
Fabulous. How are you?
Good. Great job. Great job with the case, helping those judges out. It seems like legal chaos. The more they're passing laws to create more chaos in our justice system in Orleans Parish, because at the end of the day, it's gonna wreak havoc on the public. So he touts this making Orleans Parish safer with all his resources, but what he's doing in reality and through the state's law is creating more chaos here, so that then he can go back and say, oh well, look what I got to go do now. I got to take complete control over it because they can't handle it. But you're stripping resources at the same time, Governor. You heard me? So anyway, I'm sorry, but it got me up in arms, and I appreciate y'all's work. Peace. I love you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Lord's blessings, sir. Have a good day. All right. So what about that, Mr. Matthews?
The last person or the person?
Either one.
Taking 3 judge seats away, I don't see how it helps the city of New Orleans. There are trials that go on in that courthouse that last days at a time. I can tell you, John Fuller, he had a trial that started yesterday, and up until it took them 2 days just to get the jury. And if you have cases that take 2 days to get the jury, that means the rest of his docket's getting rolled. Then now the trial's probably going to go till Friday. That means this week his docket is just this murder trial. And nothing else.
That's just one case.
That's just one case the whole week.
And he has other cases.
And he has a full caseload on his docket. But when you have that trial, it goes the whole week, and everything's just getting rolled to either next week or the week after. And that's like that in most of the sections. When you have a trial, everything is getting pushed back. And to say that you're just going to take 3 judges away, that's just now all those cases have to get into different sections, and now all those are going to get delayed because there are just a lot of trials that happen every week in that courthouse. And it's going to cause many more delays, and what's ultimately going to happen, we don't know. But could it be what that call is saying? That's just to speculate. But no, we don't know what's going to happen. We do know that it's going to cause more delays. It's not going to help anything removing 3 judgeships.
So it's part of what's happening similar to what happened with now Judge Fuller during the campaign. So, for instance, he qualified for the judgeship as a candidate, but then he was disqualified. So that had to go through a legal process. And then he was once again qualified to run.
Correct.
So, I mean, it seems like somewhat of a similar situation where the legal system has to get involved to say yes or no.
Yes, that it's a similar situation in, like, I guess the factual circumstances would happen, but being that, I mean, it's going to sound maybe like this is an insignificant distinction, but since that was about an actual election issue, was about whether he was qualified to run or not, those timelines were set very, very, very fast. It was designed to be set within, so you can get a final ruling in about 2 weeks. This unconstitutional passage of the bill question is not necessarily designed to be handled that fast. So this was like once that trial had to happen within 3 days of service for for John Fuller's election, and then the appellate court had to make a decision within 2 days, and the Supreme Court had to have that case 2 days after that. That was a very fast process, but this is not anywhere like that. With this one, the Supreme Court would just have to voluntarily choose to accept it that fast, which we're not sure if they're going to do that or not.
Okay. All right. And Dr. Burrows, what are our Facebook people talking about?
Well, one thing in particular, Alicia made a suggestion, and I think that that's a good one, in fact, that people should probably go sit in some of the courts to see how the trials move or not. That kind of thing. And I would extend that and say, just generally speaking, I think that people who can do it should actually be present, show up and be present for all aspects of civic society, right? Be it in the courtrooms, be it in legislative hearings, those kinds of things, because it all matters and it makes a difference versus reading in the newspaper. You're only going to get sound bites or clips or quotes here or there. You're going to miss a large amount of some of the actual exchanges in some of these circumstances. And that is for sure. I'm thinking about, like even with the congressional hearings or in Baton Rouge when redistricting, was on the table, and the new maps and things like that being drawn. It made a difference. I sat in on a lot of those, hearings and testimonies and so forth. All those kinds of things matter and work to keep us informed. And so I am going to promote that suggestion along with, like I said, extending it to other aspects, be it school board meetings, all sorts of things, any space and place where we have an opportunity to gain information. I think that we should take full advantage of that. It keeps us educated and informed versus, again, just snippets here or there that does not fully or may not completely give us all the information we need to make evidence-based decisions at the ballot box and otherwise.
Yeah. And we had Will Snowden on, who has multiple positions, but one is the leader of the Juror Project, where he and his team encourage people to participate as jurors, because one of the things that happens is maybe we don't have a large enough pool and diverse enough pool for some pretty serious cases. And if that pool is not diverse, not large enough, then attorneys like you don't have the opportunity to pick and choose which jurors you want to see sit on a case. And that can be discouraging, I'm sure. to look at what's possible and see. I wish some other type of people were in this courtroom.
Yes, that's definitely true with that. They subpoena between 1,500 to 2,000 jurors, and maybe half show up. On a good day, half would show up. So we would definitely like to see more people come in, be jurors. It's just the whole system is better the more people show up for jury duty. I can tell you that. And to the other thing you're just talking about going to court, look, seeing these judges, all those courtrooms are open every day. They're public courtrooms. You can go and actually watch what these judges are doing, watch the proceedings. It's not like the governor and the attorney generals where, they can go and do their job. They can close their office doors. You don't know what they're doing. You want to see what these criminal court judges are doing, anybody can go to court any day and watch the full docket and see exactly what's going on, see exactly how much these judges are doing, see exactly how long they're staying. You don't have to depend on a news article. You can go watch it yourself. We would hope everybody would do that because we would want them to see what's going on at that courthouse.
And a couple of them are streamed, right?
So some of the courtrooms do allow Zoom. They definitely allow some testimony on Zoom. Some of them are on Zoom. They have their whole docket where you could log in and watch. Yeah, we could, and I think the links are on the website too.
Okay. So is there anything that folks listening can do related to Judge Fuller's case, or just a matter of watching? Is there anything online that they can look up to learn more about this?
They can definitely look up the case. If they have access to Clerk Connect, I think the documents are on there. We're trying to make everything we file as public as possible. But as far as what you can do right now, there's really nothing we can do. Everybody's waiting to see if the Supreme Court would just take the case. There's nothing anybody can do about this. Nothing even I could do about that.
Okay.
We're just waiting.
All right.
Well, what if I might add? What I will say, along with some of our audience, is that in the meanwhile, we can register to vote, right? That is always going to be important, irrespective of issues. Make sure we take someone with us when we go to our polling places. That matters a great deal. Also, in the in-between, we can always do our best to get as much information as possible. I know that, I'm preaching to the choir, but it's about being informed too, right? Because we don't want to just show up at the poll and then be puzzled about who to vote for or what issue and which direction to vote about, or to vote in concerning any one particular issue. So it's also about registering, but then doing the homework so that we know that we're making evidence-based decisions that are in the best interest of our families and our communities. So there's other things that we can do, right? We can also get engaged. We talked about visiting courtrooms. We talked about making visits to sit in and, listen and take in information through legislative hearings and things like that. We can also, again, sit in school board meetings. I know that we're out for the summer or what have you, but we can also make visits to city council meetings. There are other things that we can do, right? We can partner with different organizations across the city who may be engaged in different ways, who may be putting out, information or helping us to get educated if we have questions and we don't necessarily have a person per se that we can, defer to. There's a lot of different routes to getting information. And for what it's worth, the reality of it is we're on all these social media sites. Many people are, at least. And so if we can take time, I'm going to just push the buck, y'all, a little bit. And I know that our listeners, or many of them, are already voting and engaging. But I'm just going to say that the same amount of effort and energy that we put into social media and, kind of combing thread line after thread line, looking at, who is, who just dropped the latest hit or, who won an award or whatever. Likewise, we can also encourage one another to be the same, to have that same diligence in knowing what's going on and being an active part of making sure that we do our very best to move the ball forward.
Absolutely. And as I like to say, there is no deadline on registering to vote. Every day is
Absolutely
a good day
not.
to register to vote.
Right.
So there are deadlines to vote in particular elections, but that doesn't mean you can't register on any given day. Look, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we got some more news and information. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Appreciate the update on what's happening with Judge Fuller's case. Best of luck as you move forward, because this affects everybody in Orleans Parish. It's your case on behalf of Judge Fuller, but it really has an impact on all of us as we face the elimination of 3 judicial seats and the impact of what that means with speedy justice, slow justice, and how many people, frankly, will be going to jail and waiting as well, since this is criminal court.
Thank you. Yes,
All right.
that's correct. That's
Okay.
correct.
All right.
Thank
well,
you.
we're going to break, and when we come back, we got a bit more time before the front porch comes on in. This is WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the front porch, y'all. You know how we do. Every Monday is Moving Monday.
And Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday.
And y'all know we have nothing but bad cheering coming through here on Wednesday.
But stick with us. On Thursday, we travel.
That's right. And Friday's Free Your Mind Friday, so get your brass up.
Something on your mind? Want to get it off your chest?
Holla at your people. WBOK 1230 AM, the station you listen to
all day long.
Climate Hope NOLA presents this month's climate keyword, adaptation. Climate adaptation means preparing our communities for stronger storms, hotter days, flooding, and rising water. That means planting trees, restoring wetlands, protecting homes, and helping families recover stronger after disasters. In New Orleans, resilience is part of who we are and how we survive. Learn more, stay informed, and take action with Climate Hope NOLA. Visit Team Hope NOLA on Instagram to learn more.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. It's 8:50 a.m. You got somewhere to be at 9 a.m. You got about 10 minutes to get there. So if you got a 5 or 6 minute drive, you're in good shape. But if you got a 15-minute drive,
Yeah.
You're going to be late. So, but at least you can arrive in one piece if you take your time. Watch out for the others. Watch out for the crazy drivers. Don't let you be one of those. Watch out for the kiddos, and be careful with those red, yellow, and green lights.
Yes.
I'm Will Sutton. I'm here with Dr. Burrows. Good conversation with Attorney Matthews, digging in on what's actually happening.
And thank you all also, if I might, Will. Thank you all for calling in with questions and concerns and things like that. And also just for tuning in. I see more people who've gotten on. Deborah, thank you for logging on today and listening to us. Sean, I see you. Let's see. There was someone else. Ryan Rhett. I'm saying your middle and last name because I don't want to ruin your first. I'm sorry. Sean, I think I said Sean already. Shannon, all of you. If I've missed anybody, I apologize. But thank you so much. We appreciate you being on.
Yeah. So that was a good conversation with the attorney. Learned some more things about that legislation.
Oh, Holly. I missed Holly. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Holly.
Yeah, learned
so
some more
I'm
things
listening.
about that legislation. Meanwhile, we've got Liz Murrow in the news even more because she wants to purge Judge Leon Roche, who oversaw her indictment, and she thinks that he shouldn't oversee any of her cases as a result of this indictment. So she wants to remove the judge from dozens of her cases that are before him as a criminal court judge. So we're going to see how that goes. The AG's spokesperson, Lester Duhey, said that they've sought Roche's recusal in cases that involve 54 defendants. The most prominent of those is the one including the 10 men charged last year in the New Orleans jailbreak. So she doesn't want Roche to have anything to do with that. And I'm sure that's because she thinks that Judge Roche may have something in for her since he's tied to the grand jury that handed up an indictment against her. So I guess we're going to hear Liz Murrow's name almost every day with one development or another.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on, and speaking of courts, in criminal procedures and all of those different things, I know that even when folks were calling in asking questions, one of the things I don't want us to get off today and not do is address the discouragement. I heard it in a number of you all's calls and in some of the, even the comments posted. And so there's a lot happening. The reality of it is that, and I'm not going to try to sugarcoat any of it, whether we're looking at the local, national, or international level, there's so much going on. But what I do want you all to do is to know that despite it all, that there is still space to be empowered, right? Like we don't have to be or completely situate ourselves as a disempowered people. That's never been the case historically. And so, and the reality of it is that, there's always been one of the things I think some of the listeners have heard me say time and time again, we've always, and when I say we, I'm speaking to the Black community particularly, that we have always been a people of resistance, right? And there have always been hurdles, insurmountable, right? Supposedly hurdles that we've been able to overcome. And we will always be able to do the same. We have precedents, right? For being able to navigate from one difficulty to the next, even when it looks like all odds were against us, all odds were against our community, all odds, were against humanity. And so, I'm not trying to provide any, just be cliche-ish, so to speak, but I do want you to know that there is still recourse, right? Despite the frustrations that we have. I'm also not downplaying or wanting to demean or diminish our concerns. They're real and rightfully so. Just know that there is still and there will always be an opportunity to make a difference. And so we can do that individually and we can also do that collectively. And then the other thing is hug your babies, y'all. Hug each other, hug your babies. There's a lot, we didn't get into it, but there's a lot we can think about, whether it's dealing with Nolan Wells and, all kinds of other similar emerging cases where people are losing their children and losing their loved ones to violent acts and so forth. Crime is down in many respects, violent crime, locally, but and so forth. But still, we're watching that too. And so as we do, and as our babies, many of them are home on break and it's the summertime, let's also love on them and be cognizant and conscientious more about how we make decisions, where we send them, who we send them with, how we send them, what are the circumstances. Ask questions, if we will. They'll say it's strict or too much, it's over the top. But
that's
still,
our responsibility.
That's right. That's right.
Our responsibility.
We check for each other, right?
Yep, absolutely. And be open to allowing others in the village.
Yes.
Weigh in.
Yes, that's how I grew up, with a village. Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing whether you have one parent or two, but people get stressed.
Yeah.
They get frustrated.
And allow safe people,
absolutely,
into the village.
Call your TD over and say, "Can you come over here?"
Yes. Safe. Notice I said safe.
Absolutely.
We have to.
Absolutely.
Your village should only be. It should be screened.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Positively. Well, good show, and thank you for being here.
Oh,
thank you for saying yes and coming on in.
Oh, for sure. I'm always going to say yes, at least as best as I can, and when I'm available.
Yeah,
yes,
right.
yes. I enjoy being here. I enjoy talking and listening and reading. I'm reading. I had a good time being able to look at the comments and things like that, and it matters. You all's voices matter. So continue to weigh in. Log on, weigh in, wherever you are.
All right. It's 8:58 a.m. We got to get out of here and make room for the front porch. Graylin's already in the building. And after the front porch, we're going to have Tavis Smiley. And after Tavis Smiley, we're going to have none other than the G-Man, Gerard Stevens, with the Reality Check. Lord willing, I'll be back here on tomorrow morning. Looking forward to that. If it's Thursday, then, of course, we'll be expecting to hear from our U.S. representative, our Congressman, Troy Carter.
I'll be here,
that'll
too.
Be a conversation. And,
I'll be here.
You're coming back?
I'm coming
all
back.
All right now.
I'll be here.
All right.
We shall chat again,
all
you
right.
all.
Very good. Very good. All right. This is WBOK 1230 a.m. what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Have a